track, which really deals with people who come in with a long-term opioid addiction, that we're trying to show them non-narcotic pain. But again, eating healthy, physical therapy, exercise, other ways, a spiritual piece. We have a professionals track because people with licenses or executives are not immune to this disease. You know, we do see quite a few pilots and doctors and
pilots.
And NFL and MLB. Yeah, it's, well, what's great there, I will say that the pilots union has very strict codes. So they are constantly being monitored, which is important for sure. You know, also one thing that I really do like to talk about with Lakeview is that we're gender responsive, because men and women have different approaches to recovery. A lot of women come in with traumatic events in their life, and what we have found is that women respond better to a female clinical staff. So we do everything we can to have women monitored by women therapists, and also women within women's groups. And the same thing for the men, because there are different issues for men and women. We break it down to small groups, 6 to 8 people. Each patient has a primary therapist from the first day they're there all the way through their care.
And how long is the stay usually?
Well, we do a full continuum of care, and that means that we do a medical detox, we do inpatient, we do residential, we do intensive outpatient, and then we do aftercare.
Okay, so you do inpatient, that's within the facility.
Yes.
Then you do residential, what does that mean?
Residential means that they take treatment with us during the day, and then they stay in our apartments.
Which are close by.
Yes, we do own them. They are transported back and forth. They are fully monitored 24/7. They are, but because of the way insurance is, it is slightly different when they're in an outpatient program. They cannot be within residential on the property. So but it is all on our campus. And
then you said outpatient after that, intensive outpatient.
Intensive outpatient, or they can come back to the area for outpatient. There are plenty. As Lily said in one of the introductions, I do work as an ambassador, bringing the program to people and having people come into the program, but a large part of my job is also building relationships with people like yourself, with doctors, with therapists, with outpatient, with sober living, so that if I do have a person returning back to Westchester or Putnam County, we have facilities for them we have facilities for them to go to. Some people need to go into sober living. Some people can't return home.
And you have sober living there?
Well, sober living, we do have relationships in Jacksonville with sober living, but also
it's in Jacksonville.
I have relationships up here. I have sober living in Yorktown Heights that I work with. And then we also have a great family program, because to me this is a family disease, and we're working with, be it father, mother, brother, sister, child,
extended families,
all the from, you know, as long as the patient is signing a release, we are more than willing to work on it.
So tell me about your family program.
Well, so the family program, from within the first 24 hours, if family has got a release, are going to be contacted. And they can, after their first 7 days, they can have visitors on site. And then we do family programs twice a month for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So it is a pretty intensive learning. First day focuses on the patient, second day focuses on the family, and then the third day is the piece together.
Do you put them up? I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you put them up for that 3 days?
We do not have them on campus. We do have a relationship with 2 different hotels.
Got it. So there's
that they can. And then again, we can also, with the primary therapist, family can Skype, can
Got it.
FaceTime in. You know, we will do whatever we have to keep building that.
Got it.
There's also something called a case manager that is assigned to each patient. A case manager is really handling the financial piece to them, the employment piece, the legal piece, that would be the insurance piece, that's what a case manager is, and then an aftercare coordinator. We have a woman for the women and a man for a man is assigned that would be working on the aftercare program. So at all times as they move through their treatment, and to answer your question, because I didn't, our average stay is 44 to 46 days if it really goes all the way through. Again, you know, things do change, unfortunately, different insurances. But what is great for Lakeview is we have 4 doctors in the utilization review department. So they're really, really educated in trying to get the fullest continuum of care for the people.
Can I say something? I sent one of my kids about 2-3 years ago to Lakeview, and just relapse, clean time relapse. And I sent him to Lakeview, and I have to give probation and peak skill like big kudos because they allowed him to leave the state, and they let him to go to Lakeview. And I have to say he did great, and he's still down there in Jacksonville. And when I go down there, I'm going to find him, and I'm going to go give him a big hug.
Nice.
Because he really is doing great. And I think it's a combination of him wanting it and you being there to help him reach his goals. Because now he's been clean 3 years, I think.
Great.
Yeah,
So what's the age group?
We are 18 and above.
Okay.
I would say in the early 30s seems to be the average, but census does change all the time. But again, we break it down to such small groups that we kind of try to group together of age.
And you rebuilt the place.
And that's why I'm so excited for you both to come down as a visit.
Yeah, we can't wait. We're going to put our suntan lotion on.
That's it.
They've reinvested about $35 million in the last 2 years into it.
Really?
It's a beautiful facility. We're so proud of it. You know, our CEO is very open that his daughter overdosed, did die. He is very invested into the program. It's really fantastic. We have a 10,000 square foot wellness center that's an indoor track. That one of the things that we like to talk about is servant leadership, and that means that it was really from the bottom up. So like the wellness center was designed by staff, as well as like the nursing stations were the nurses on staff were asked and brought in their ideas.
Oh, that's great.
It's fantastic.
Because who knows better than who's working right there?
And I have to say one thing. There are a lot of people, and you're meeting them, whose family members come back from treatment with $60,000, $70,000 urine bills.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for tox screens.
That's right. And when Roy came in, I think last year, we talked about that, and he said none of his revenue, correct, if you want to fill me in, none of his revenue comes from tox screens, toxicology.
Well, we do have an in-house
lab. I take my hands off for that.
What I will say is when a person contacts myself, and we get them to intake, we will have benefits run very quickly, usually within the hour.
Right.
You will know where you stand, what your deductible is, what your max cash out of pocket. No one will ask you for a credit card up front. If a treatment center does, I would be very scared.
Okay.
You're not going to get hidden charges. And we also have an extremely attractive scholarship program on the back end also, that I can go to the mat and fight for people for sure.
So have you sent any of your families to our support group? We have a support group on Tuesday nights in Mahopac and Yorktown and Dutchess. I imagine that you're working with some families in this area.
Absolutely. And, you know, Susan, what I would encourage when you go down to facility, you'll meet Ryan and Lexi.
Okay.
And they are the aftercare specialists because they are the ones that have the client list, the preferred client list, to make sure people can get back. So if and I've only been with Lakeview since September 1st. I haven't had a family member or a family come from Northern Westchester, so I don't think off the top of my head I have had anybody up here. But it's absolutely whatever resources are in the community, I'm an advocate for. You know, if it's a 12-step program, if it's Al-Anon, if private therapists, outpatients,
whatever works.
We're really trying to give them. And one of the other things too is because what we're doing today, Facebook is so prevalent.
Yeah.
We have a private Facebook page for alumni, and we have a private Facebook page for family.
Okay.
We have a very strong alumni program that they're contacted daily for the first 30 days.
That's very good.
They're texting or in touch with them to see. They're going to be following up clinically to see if the person has followed the aftercare plan. And that's what we're looking for the long term. We're not looking for the repeat person to come back in.
How many beds do you have?
Excuse me one second. Unfortunately, we do have people. Relapse is part of this story. But I've had plenty of people that come back too.
Okay.
So 70 beds male, 56 beds females.
Big.
Okay, it's big.
So it is. But I'd say we run about a 60 to 70% full. So I do always have beds available, which is
Okay.
great.
You know what, Scott? Will you look into the camera and will you tell them all your information, how to get in touch with you, your phone number, and your email?
Absolutely. So my name is Scott Apgar. My email would be sapgar@lakeviewhealth.com. And my cell phone, which is 24/7, would be 917-693-1189. And like we said in the beginning, by all means, I'm here to help anybody. I have a lot of good connections with adolescent programs. I have connections with other programs here. Arms Acres is one that, you know, if people are resistant to leave the area, we have a great relationship with. You know, but sometimes I think the best thing could be to get the people out of the specific area.
Yeah.
Because if you remove the enticement of just jumping in your friend's car and going,
Right.
which is called AMA, against medical advice, and people can sign themselves out,
Right.
it removes one of the barriers for sure. And you might, because what I was saying to you before we started, when a person comes in, they're usually still on something.
Right.
And then we see at day 3 after a detox a little more accepting, a little more responsibility, a little more willingness. And then by day 7 to 10, they're understanding it. You know, so many people come in angry, don't want to be there and such in the beginning. And then usually within the 7 to 10 days, you see a turnaround.
And you know what, Scott? It was great having you as a guest. I knew you'd be a great. Didn't we know he'd be a great guest?
Absolutely, we knew
we
we-
knew it.
that's what
we
we
just
asked.
knew it.
Well,
Absolutely.
you would
thank
be
you,
great.
ladies.
Something about who
Now,
you
one
are.
question, is that
Go
the
on.
only facility in Jacksonville?
So technically not. I have Lakeview, which is the residential, the gender responsive campus.
Right.
I have Stepping Stones, which is in network. And then we are just about to open a outpatient in Houston.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Yes.
So
Not stepping stones to recovery.
No,
No,
it's
Stepping-
Stepping Stones
Okay.
is our second facility. It's on the same campus. It's across from Lakeview.
Oh, okay. All
We'll
right,
see that
got
when
it.
we go
Okay,
down.
right there, same
sure.
campus, but okay.
They're the same clinical
And-
footprint. The
Same
only difference is,
Jacksonville.
Stepping Stones is co-ed.
Got
and
it.
Usually, because it is in network with insurance,
Got
it's
it.
a shorter length of stay.
And you didn't open up anything on the beach yet, because that's what I'm waiting for.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because so what we do is we're kind of unique. We do something called surf therapy, which is an experiential form of therapy, where clients are taken down in a small group,
Right.
again about 6. They do a class with a surfing instructor,
Yes, okay.
and then they have a process group with a therapist on
Got
the
it,
beach
got it.
afterwards.
all right. Well, we'll have to try that.
We have to try that when we're down there, because we
gonna
are
do
out of time. See how fast it goes?
Unbelievable.
You're a great guest, Scott, and you
Thanks.
have to come back on, really, please
Anytime,
do.
ladies.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you very much.
wonderful.
I appreciate
It's
it.
great having
Yep.
you.
It was very, very good having you. We got a lot of information.